trolling has become part and parcel with the internet, but surprisingly it has been around a lot longer than the invention of the web and the rise of social media. In fact, trolling has been around since ancient times. Here we take a look at the 10 of the biggest trolls in history and the pranks they played on unassuming people. Pablo Escobar. In the early 1980s, a photograph was taken of Pablo Escobar and his son Juan Pablo Escobar at the White House. This moment is significant as it captures the audaciousness of Pablo Escobar, who at the time was wanted by the DEA and Interpol, yet still managed to visit Disneyland with his family and snap a photo in front of one of the most iconic buildings in the world. As a result, Pablo Escobar is often cited as one of the biggest trolls of all time. Oliver, Porky, Bickar and the eruption of Mount Edgecumbe. The photograph captures an event that occurred on April 1, 1974, known as the eruption of Mount Edgecumbe. The perpetrator of this elaborate prank was Oliver, Porky, Bickar, who hauled 100 old tires to the summit of the dormant volcano in Sitka, Alaska, which had not erupted since 2220 BCE. Bickar ignited the tires, causing a plume of dark smoke that led the residents of Sitka to believe that the volcano had finally erupted. However, they soon discovered the truth when they found a message spray-painted in the snow that read, "April Fools." This prank is often considered one of the greatest April Fool's jokes of all time. Juan Pujol Garcia. Juan Pujol Garcia may not be a household name, but his role as a double agent for both the Germans and the British during World War II was a significant one. Despite being denied by British authorities when he attempted to offer his services to them on 3 occasions, Garcia was not deterred. Instead, he took matters into his own hands and got recruited by the Germans, offering to spy on them in England. While the Germans instructed Garcia to establish himself in England, he actually moved to Lisbon and continued to try to make contact with the British. He sent fabricated reports to the Germans, written in an official-looking manner to appear as if they had come from London. Finally, in April 1942, Garcia made contact with MI5 and was brought to London. By 1944, Garcia had earned the trust of the Nazis, who unquestioningly accepted his word and reports. He provided false information to the Germans about the timing, location, and scale of the Normandy invasion. The Germans were led to believe that the main attack would be in the Pas de Calais. At the end of the war, Garcia received military distinctions from both the Germans and the British. He was awarded the Iron Cross from the Germans and became a member of the Order of the British Empire. Diogenes of Sinope. Diogenes, an ancient Greek philosopher known for his unconventional and often humorous behavior, has been considered a legendary troll by modern standards. Although no first-hand accounts of his life exist, many of his trolling stories are believed to be myths and tales. One of Diogenes' legendary trolling acts involved Plato, who was applauded for his definition of man as a featherless biped. To challenge this definition, Diogenes plucked a chicken of its feathers and brought it to Plato's academy, declaring, "Behold, I brought you a man." As a result, with broad flat nails was added to Plato's definition of man. It is stories like these that have earned Diogenes a reputation as a master troll. Erik Thorvaldsson. Erik Thorvaldsson, or Erik the Red, founded the first settlement in Greenland and gave the island its name. He was exiled to the island and explored its southern tip, which became known as Cape Farewell. During his exile, he conceived a plan to attract settlers to Greenland by promoting it as a land of abundant vegetation and future opportunities. Upon his return to Iceland, he referred to his place of exile as Greenland and successfully lured settlers to the island. His trolling has endured as Greenland remains its name to this day. Zhuge Liang. Zhuge Liang was a renowned Chinese politician, military strategist, writer, and inventor who was considered the most accomplished war strategist of his time. He authored The Art of War. When an army of 150,000 soldiers decided to attack Zhuge's village, he had no choice but to defend it with a small, unorganized army of around 100 troops. In this dire situation, Zhuge surprisingly chose to sit outside the gates of his village and drink tea, while leaving the gates wide open. He instructed his troops to hide. When the enemy army arrived, they suspected it was a trap and ordered a retreat. This way, Zhuge Liang successfully defended his village against the invading army. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the renowned composer of the classical period, held a particular disdain towards Adriana Ferrari's Del Bean, an opera singer known for her habit of dropping her chin towards her chest while singing low notes and tossing her head back on high notes. Ironically, Mozart composed a piece called Come Scoglio specifically for her, which featured frequent jumps between high and low notes. Mozart enjoyed watching Ferrari's head bobbing like a chicken while performing the piece, despite his initial dislike for her singing style. Pierre de Fermat, a French lawyer and mathematician, once played a practical joke on the entire mathematical community, which resulted in his most famous contribution to mathematics known as Fermat's last theorem. The theorem was written in the margin of a book, where Fermat claimed that it was impossible to separate a cube into two cubes or any power higher than the second into two like powers. He also stated that he had discovered a proof for this, which he couldn't fit in the margin. This prank lasted for 358 years until the theorem was finally proven in 1994. Do carrots really help you see in the dark? Carrots do contain vitamin A or retinol, which is necessary for synthesizing rhodopsin, the pigment in your eyes that helps you see in low light conditions. If you have a vitamin A deficiency, you may develop nyctalopia or night blindness, and eating carrots can help correct this and improve your night vision. However, eating carrots will only improve your night vision to the extent of an ordinary healthy person, and it won't enable you to see in complete darkness. The myth that eating carrots can give you exceptional night vision was started by the Air Ministry during World War II to keep the use of radar a secret from the Germans. The Air Ministry issued press releases claiming that British pilots had exceptional night vision because they were eating lots of carrots. This deception fooled the British public and even the German High Command, leading to the creation of an old wives' tale. The Trojan Horse. During the Trojan War, the Greeks constructed a massive, hollow wooden horse to infiltrate Troy. Hippias, a skilled carpenter and fighter, crafted the horse. Pretending to abandon the war, the Greek army sailed to Tenedos, leaving Sinon behind to convince the Trojans that the horse was a gift to Athena, which would protect Troy from future attacks. Against the warnings of Laocoon and Cassandra, the Trojans brought the horse inside the city walls. That night, Greek soldiers emerged from the horse, opened the gates, and welcomed the Greek army back into Troy. This story is told in detail in Book 2 of the Aeneid and is briefly mentioned in the Odyssey. Over time, the term Trojan horse came to describe subversion from the outside. In the late 20th century, the term was applied to seemingly harmless computer codes that were created to damage or disrupt a computer's programming, or steal personal information. History is filled with individuals who have used their wit, cunning, and sense of humor to play pranks and stir up trouble. From the ancient Greeks to modern-day internet trolls, these individuals have made their mark on the world by challenging the status quo and breaking the rules. While some of these trolls may have caused harm or created chaos, others have sparked important conversations and forced us to question our assumptions. Whether we view them as heroes or villains, one thing is certain: these historic trolls have left an indelible mark on our world and continue to inspire us to challenge authority and think outside the box.